session. Today's session is all about sectioning. I know that I say that every single thing is the most important, but this is definitely one of those things that if you don't master, it will drive your clients crazy. Sectioning is important because this is how your extension clients are going to keep their extensions hidden when they want to wear them up, when they want to wear them down. So I always say that sectioning is very important. So this is going to give you an invisible wear. It's going to help you blend out the client's natural hair. It's going to make the flexibility of the styles possible for our clients. And it's going to create customizable looks for our guests. So, some things to know when it comes to sectioning. Know your angles. So you may have to do more of an angle on some clients. Some clients, it may be more straight around the head. We're going to go over some of those today to give you a little bit more insight. Number 2, know where to start. Knowing where to start on the hairline is really important. You need to assess every single client sitting in your chair. Their hairline, what does the front of their hair look like? Know and understand section spacing. This is also very important. This is going to be the spacing in between your wefts, so know why you are leaving space between, why you aren't. We also want to make sure that we really take into consideration the client's hairline, we take into consideration their crown, we take into consideration the hair around their neckline. This is all going to play a part in where we place their wefts. Around their ears is very, very important. We have some clients that come into the salon who are very fine around their ears and they like to wear their hair up. I also like to say that I can give you a basic understanding of sectioning, but this is something that is going to have to be evaluated for every single person that's going to sit in your chair. So placement will vary from person to person. There is no standard. So you really do need to take a very good look at their hairline and the condition and what the current situation is with their hair. So if you have somebody who is really missing a lot of their hair in front and they're very broken and they really need a lot of hair to fill in that front and their sides, you may need to place their wefts really far forward, which is something that you're going to have to discuss with them because they may not be able to put their hair up very easily. So really assessing where they need it most is very important, and then communicating what that looks like for your client with what they are working with and finding out what's important to them. So is it important that they wear their hair up? Is it important that they wear their hair down and they want that front filled in? So we really do need to assess what the client's expectation is, what's important to them, and what is the best scenario for customizing their sectioning to achieve the result that they desire. So we're going to start with one row. Some things to know with one row is good for adding volume. It's good for color enhancement. I never promise length, but occasionally this may work. We may get length sometimes from one row if you're working with somebody who has very fine hair. I never promise it. Placement is usually the best in the middle of the head. This gives you enough coverage and it gives you good balance and it is easily hidden. So with one row placement, this is a more angled look. This is great for somebody who has colics in the crown area. This is great for somebody who has a thinning crown. This is great for somebody who has shorter underlayers near the nape of their neck to kind of blend out those short pieces. I know you've seen those people with extensions who have the shorter underlayers that are peeking through. You can tell that they've got extensions because of that one piece that's hanging out. So really angling will make that disappear. You also want to kind of angle this to hide the wefts from the top if they are really thin on the top as well. So our more straight placement and our less angled placement is great for a more balanced look. This is great for your average hair type, and this is really great for hiding wefts. So these are two examples of one row placement. As you can see, our first picture on the left, she is very fine, and we got a ton of length on her for what we actually provided her with. So this is one row. We did a straight across placement. We did no angling. We put 6 wefts on one row, and she received and achieved a lot of dimension and a lot of length. For our next example, this is a one row. Our client has a little bit more of a thicker texture, so we were not able to get any length. We got like maybe an inch or two. Again, we did our normal placement, which turned out beautiful. We got a little bit lighter of an enhancement on our ends, and both look great. Both is the same placement. The amount of length we got completely different because of texture and density. So let's go into 2-row placements. Some things you need to know about 2-row placement is this is good for adding volume or color enhancement for fine hair. So somebody who has extremely fine hair, we would do more rows and less wefts because we don't want to put a lot of weight on fine, thin hair because it will cause damage and breakage. So for your baby fine haired people, we like to do 2 rows with 4 wefts on each row, and this will give you an amazing look, and it will give you a nice light wear with less damage, a lightweight wear. So this is the most common application for adding length to fine and average hair. This varies on placement, layers, length, density, head size, hairline problem areas. These are all going to be taken into consideration when you are thinking about your row placement. So let's go into some examples. This is an example of a more angled 2-row placement, and in this example, our rows are placed very close together. This is great for filling in bare sides seamlessly. Angle placement is great for cowlicks, for a thinning crown. Again, it's great for filling in those short underlayers, and it is great for someone who's very thin on top, and it's great for blending your shorter lengths. So this is your more standard, less angled placement. This is great for a more balanced look and a more average hair type. And this is a great way to hide wefts from the top and the bottom. And then we have our 2-row example where we put a lot of space in between our rows. So extra space in between the rows helps you blend out shorter layers on top. So this is for somebody who has extremely short layers, either from breakage or from a shorter haircut. You can blend out your shorter layers from under if you really want to angle that bottom row. But this is really, really great to make a seamless blend. And if you're trying to blend out a haircut that has a little bit more of a difficult amount of layers that just need to be blended. So here is an example of a 2-row placement. As you can see, we got a lot of length out of this. We did, I believe, 5 on each row. So this is 10 pieces. And we got a lot of length. Even though Melanie's hair seems very thick, her hair is very fluffy. And we used the extensions to create a lighter, more dimensional look for her. In this application, we used 2 rows, and I believe we used 11 pieces, and we filled her in really, really well. So let's move on to 3 rows. We don't get a ton of 3-row applications, but I love a 3-row look. So 3 rows are great for adding length to shorter hair. So if you have somebody who has short hair who would like to add a lot of length, you most definitely will need a 3-row application, 100% hands down. This will give you the most amount of density. And when we're doing 3 rows, most likely you're going to have to place those rows very close together so you have room to put them all on the head. So these types of applications are great for blending out lots of layers or shorter layers. And again, your variation of placement is going to be determined by all of the things listed that I've already explained: layers, length, density, hair size, head size, hairline, all of the things. So we need to do a very thorough consultation and do a very thorough scalp analysis and hairline analysis to determine placement and to determine application. So, when we're talking about placement and we're talking about doing a more angled placement, again, this is great for cowlicks, thinning crown, short layers on top or under, a very thin top, and for blending shorter lengths underneath near the neckline. This is a less angled placement, which is great for a more balanced look. It is great for average hair type, and it's great for hiding wefts on the top and from underneath. Here is an example of 3-row hair installation. So as you can see, both of these clients have very short layers, very short hair, wanted to add a lot of thickness and fullness and a lot of length. And 3 rows was perfect for achieving the look that they desired. So let's get started on practicing placement. And if you do have questions about placement, please feel free to reach out to any of our educators. You can ask questions in your direct message. And like I said, placement is going to vary from client to client. There is going to be no set structure for this. Every single client has a different head of hair. Every single client has a different hairline. So taking that into consideration, we really want to custom tailor our placement and our installations for each guest. That is what makes this extension type so beautiful and so customizable. So thanks for watching. Let's move on to the next lesson.